What makes a house a home? We asked the people of Wales to enter their houses into Wales Home of the Year. Now, our judges are visiting the top 3 from each region, choosing one each episode to go through to our national final. Scoring them on architectural merit, distinctive design and original style are interior designer Mandy Watkins from Anglesey.
I'm looking for a home that tells me a story about the people that live there and maybe to pick up some ideas along the way.
Cardiff-based architectural designer Glenn Thomas.
The key areas that I'm looking for are sustainability, innovation and an authentic expression of who that homeowner is.
And leading the judging, Owain Wyn Evans.
I'm looking for a home that makes me say, I want to live here, darlings.
That is goals.
Are we ready? Ta-da!
Did you just do that with your sheer magnetism?
Oh my gosh, I'm in love. What a space.
In the end, only one can be Wales Home of the Year. Today, our judges are visiting 3 shortlisted properties in mid-Wales and the valleys. They're starting with a house in Llanddew that dates back to the 16th century. Pye Tindy House is home to Hannah, her husband Tom, and their kids George, Lily, Lexi and Rosie.
We bought our house in September 2018, and on the very first day, I knocked down the very first wall. It was quite cold and dark and damp and falling down, so everything had to be redone. We've put on an extension, the kitchen dining extension in our bedroom. I knew with this house, which is going to be our forever home, that I wanted it to be colourful. Now we've done it, almost. It's wonderful. When we look back and see how far we've come, we actually feel really proud of ourselves.
The large house has 7 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms. Downstairs, there's a spacious kitchen diner, a wine room, and several family rooms. Prior to the judges' arrival, we asked the owners to place a heart in their favourite spot in the home.
I'm going to put the heart here in our wine room because our house is full of noise, it's full of laughter, it's full of children, and it's often full of guests. But actually, I really like having a moment of peace and quiet for just my husband and myself.
Armed with only the basic facts about the property and its owners, the judges get their first look at Pye Tindy House.
Well, what we're looking at here, you two, is dream home territory.
I do love a column only on the right kind of property. Graceland, Elvis Presley, yes. This pink house, 100% yes.
There's clearly several different periods here. You have what I imagine to be the original home on the left. I think this extension part would have been to some time ago because they've emulated the Georgian sash-style windows, and here, clearly, contemporary extension.
We could be looking at kind of 1600s, 1700s maybe. I can't wait to see what kind of style will be inside. Should we head in? Wow, this is gorgeous. Look at the colour. I love this kind of cornflower blue. I really like the way that they've been quite brave, I think, and a lot of people don't like doing this, in painting the skirting boards, the architraves, and that door the same colour as the walls. I think it's a really nice way to just kind of blend things in.
This isn't going to be pristine and everything perfect. There's going to be plenty of character here.
I'm kind of torn between exploring all the original features and the history, and we're getting hints of contemporary artwork, and that light in what looks like a double height space is definitely drawing me that way. Shall we explore? Do you know what? I'm just looking at it. We're all looking at different things here, aren't we? I'm drawn to that bit there, this amazing dramatic double height space and the mezzanine space. So this is a really good example of how architecture can create pure drama.
It's like the imagination has run wild in this space. Look at the glitter ball. I love how it's got its own cutesy little ceiling rose.
It's quite fantastical, isn't it? It doesn't feel set like, it feels very homely, but someone has put a lot of thought into this. I love the way they're playing with scale and proportion, and that kitchen is just something else. You don't see them every day. I need to explore properly. Oh, even a mirror when you're washing the dishes.
I'm not a fan of the distressed look, you know, trying to make something new look old. If we're going to put something new in it, let's make it out of new materials. I still admire the level of craftsmanship, though.
This is not a new kitchen trying to look old. It's not distressed, it's washed. The rose gold goes perfectly with the colour of the wood. You could not beat this kitchen for this home. It's perfection.
Look at the sink, you two. What a statement piece. How do you make your sink different? Well, put a copper one in there.
Well, well, well. Look at this.
Oh,
Beautiful fireplace.
very nice. Oh, let's perch.
I love a dual aspect fireplace. You can get these glimpses into the dining room.
Obviously, this is quite a big room, so the big tulips are looking fabulous. Not everyone could get away with it, maybe, but in this kind of room, just go for it.
Also, look at the ceiling. These wooden mouldings, they've been here for years, I imagine. So we're getting this kind of new look on the walls, but also still maintaining some of the history by keeping that on the ceiling.
We haven't spotted the floor. If you look down, you've got this wonderful wide plank oak engineer floorboard, and I think that's a really important choice to go for that proportion, considering the home we're in.
They've decided, let's make it fun. And why not make your home fun? Because you can. It's your home. You live in it.
Well, so many doors to explore, but I'm going to open this one. Ah, my calling.
Oh my gosh, a bar.
No surprises, the heart is here. And what a cute, dinky bar. Feels intimate, feels really lovely to be here.
This is a luxury space, and it has that luxurious feel. It's got the gold on the ceiling, it's got the gold detailing as well. And look at this wallpaper. I love the little peacocks on it. Cute.
Quite often you've got that kind of spare room, a larder, a pantry or an outhouse that you could create this in. It has a wonderful sort of speakeasy feel to it. It's a lot of fun, but I think we should get out of here before we have too much fun.
Okay.
Definitely. There's a whole nother floor to explore.
All right, shall we see what's going on upstairs then?
Yes. Look at this lovely runner.
A couple of small pokey bedrooms, do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Ah, right. Owen, you're always the one to have a lie down. I think I've worked hard. It's my turn.
I'll have a lie down, Glenn.
Oh, thank you. Wow, they've had a lot of fun with this room, haven't they? But I've got to say, I'm looking out there. That is the most fantastic view I've seen in a long time.
I often lean towards a more is more approach in life, and occasionally decor, but I think that this is maybe a little bit too busy for me.
But is it in keeping with the rest of the home? Certainly. That wallpaper is a big print. It doesn't really come across like that because we're playing with scale and this is a big room. And those lights together, it feels intergalactic, doesn't it? Everything's a bit theatrical, but most of all, you know, there's a lot of fun going on here.
What will the judges score Pie Tindy House? 1 mark will be held back until they've seen all 3 homes, when their combined scores will be revealed.
Love a pink house, and this did not disappoint. Amazing setting, and the interiors were something else. So many layers of colours. Everything was very theatrical, very fun, a really inspirational home. I'm giving this home a 9.
It's got the wow factor. This home is just incredible. Wherever you look, there's a printed wallpaper or a mural, and I think in certain spaces that is so fab and it's fun. But for me, I did find like there was no rest for the eye, really. But there's no denying the finish in this home is fab. I'm giving this home an 8.
What a spectacular home. I love sitting here in this double height space, surrounded by glass, bringing all the nature in, and you can see everything that's going on and everywhere looks down into this space. I feel like this is a really sociable home. There's no doubt about it. It's a striking home. It makes the most of those incredible views. They've done a great job.
Next up is Pendre Cottage in Powys. Julie and David have called Pendre Cottage their home since 2009.
When we moved here, it seemed very typical of pre-1800s cottage. It was quite chintzy, and although I liked the history of the house, I wanted to get rid of a lot of the chintziness and simplify our lives here. I think I have the ideas, and then Dave puts my ideas into practice. It's safe to say that our home here, which we love, sustains us, keeps us going, and it gives us a really good quality of life.
We feel like we're on a holiday, and this is our home. We live in our holiday. It's a crazy, lovely situation.
Originally built in the 1700s, this home contains 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom upstairs. While downstairs there's a living room and a kitchen.
I'm placing the heart here because this is our favourite spot to sit in an evening. We like to be by the pond, we like to see the view behind us, and we can enjoy the rest of our garden. And it's a really peaceful place to be.
But what will the judges think of Pendra Cottage? With the front of the house on a main road, the judges approach from the back garden.
Oh, this is very nice, isn't it?
What a lovely, cute cottage. And even though it's built right on the road, look at this back garden.
Yeah, beautiful. And look at the vista. The home itself, stunning. The garden, stunning. Just love this space.
It's almost a bonus that we had to approach it from the back because this is the first impression of this house. I love how the sun is bouncing off that white render.
I really can't wait to see inside this with you two.
And there's a disco ball in the kitchen window.
Oh!
Let's explore.
I'm in heaven already. Glenn, lead the way.
With pleasure. Straight into the living room. Oh, this is nice.
It is.
This is cosy.
It's cosy, adorable, and also, in a sense, what you would not expect, but what you would want this space to be. And look at that wooden lintel above the fireplace as well. I bet that can tell some stories.
You know, light and airy, and I like that in a cottage. You know, sometimes with the small windows, they can feel a bit oppressive. But here, obviously, we've got the dual aspect, the front and the back, and it feels really nice and spacious.
And look how thick the walls are. If you look at these 2 front windows at the front, every so often you get a flash as a car passes or a van passes. But you can't really hear a lot of the traffic.
They have been quite simple in their decor. If you look at the windows there, you'll notice that there's actually no curtains. So it keeps it really clean, and with the white walls, I think that's what's making it feel spacious in here.
Do you know what I'm also noticing, both? Glenn, above your head, look at this beam here up in the ceiling. It's got these nails and bits of metal that have been bashed into it over the years, and I'd love to think about the story of the person who put that nail in. What was it for? What were they doing?
The 3 of us have walked into the room here and we're looking that way. But if you do a quick 180 spin, look at the view to the garden from there.
Well, through there, I can see what I think is the kitchen, and I want to explore it. Let's go.
Oh, cute.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, very nice.
Lovely, isn't it? The one thing that I'm noticing first is it's filled with these gorgeous facets of light, which are coming from the glitter ball.
Do you know what I love? It's an unfitted kitchen. You know, I think there's a bit of a trend, especially if you go to a kitchen shop, to have all the storage. Well, actually, you don't need it, do you? It feels really undone, but really nicely done, and I mean that in the nicest possible way.
First thing I notice is this concrete worktop. Now, I've made a few concrete worktops in my time. When you're making a concrete worktop, it's made upside down, inverted, and all of the shuttering has to be spot on in order for it to look good. However, this is very organic, which is very kind of reflective of the house itself.
One thing that's giving me real nostalgia, real hiraeth, as we'd say here in Wales, of course, is that Rayburn. Mum and Dad had one, and I just remember us as a family, you know, on cold nights, always gravitating towards the Rayburn.
This whole kitchen space does feel rustic, but without being twee.
It feels like a really practical, easy to live in space.
Well, honeys, I can't leave a room that contains a glitter ball without spinning it, so shall I give it a spin?
Of course.
Here we go, the solar disco is open.
Oh, home time for me.
Yeah.
Taxi from Andy.
Club closed, out you go.
Oh, wow. Oh, carpets of dreams.
The carpet's very you-manned.
This place is so full of character, isn't it?
Yeah. Look at the shape of that door to accommodate the rather interesting ceiling height, which varies in here to accommodate, well, the fact that we're in the roof. But look at this lovely window space, this dormer.
It's sort of a coastal look, and I love the way that they put that massive mirror there. So you can pick your outfit from the fitted cupboard, lovely light coming in to get your face on, and then just nice personal touches. It's small, but perfectly styled. I love it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will love this kind of boutique hotel feel that I'm getting as we're walking through here. But looking again, we made the point downstairs that there's no curtains or blinds. This is a bedroom. Now, personally, I would need a blackout blind because I'd be up like that 5 o'clock as soon as the sun streams in.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you wake up to that view, you're not going to complain about anything, are you?
You know what we haven't noticed yet, both, is the heart. Where's the heart? I think it's got to be out there in the garden. It looks stunning. It's a gorgeous day. Got the factor 50 on. Should we go out?
You're not going to have to twist my arm on that one.
Let's go for a treasure hunt.
Oh, yes.
Oh, let me lead you down the garden path, boys.
Lead us astray, more like,
Well,
Mandy.
I'll try.
Well, here it is. The heart. No surprise as to why it's here. Oh, this is a gorgeous location. I'm enveloped in nature.
You can hear the road, but actually, that's the only negative. This is a fabulous plot. What they've done to the garden is amazing.
You have this kind of element of layering, don't you? And when you're sat here, you can really appreciate these different areas, the different zones.
If you're lucky to have an outdoor space like this, it's like having an extra room to the house. And of course, if you're lucky to have weather like this in Wales, it's even better.
How will the judges score Pendre Cottage?
This is an utterly charming boutique hotel feel cottage. I absolutely love it. It feels wonderful walking around the spaces. I also admire the slightly contemporary approach that they've taken. You've got that stunning concrete worktop, which I absolutely love. You've got the white walls and beautifully exposed timber rafters. I've really enjoyed this home and I think they've done a fantastic job. I'm giving this home an 8.
This is such a cute cottage, and it feels really spacious for actually what's quite a small house. I love the kitchen. It just goes to show you don't have to have everything just fitted to perfection. Those bedrooms were perfectly styled. It was like a lesson in how to style small spaces. I'm giving this home a 9.
There's a certain sense of familiarity when I walk into this home. I've never been in here before. I've never lived in a home like this, but I don't know what it is. I just feel like it's embracing me when I walk into the different spaces here. I think some of that's down to the way it's been decorated. It's very cozy, but it's also bright and light and airy, even though some of the rooms are actually not that big in here. I bet this is a lovely place to live in.
The final home in mid-Wales and the Valleys is Chez Nou in Pontypool. Originally built in the 1930s, this house has been extended and refurbished by Paul and wife Nadine. They've lived happily in the property for 8 years with their dog, Boris.
When we first saw this house, I fell in love with it, and the reason being it's quite different. The house is built in an old quarry. I like the space, I like the tranquility of living almost in the woodland. We've got quite an eclectic taste when it comes to design. We don't stick to one style. What we try to do is mix things up. I do like period correctness. So for the parts of the house that are old, they should be period correct. But what we tried to do with the extension was make something completely different, because the rest of the house is quite traditional, but with a twist.
Chez Nou contains 2 bedrooms upstairs and a large family bathroom. Downstairs, there's a living room and a large kitchen diner with a snug.
I'm going to put the heart here, and the reason being I like to sit here in the morning, have my breakfast and look out the window and look at the wildlife.
Time for the judges to get their first look at Chez Nou.
Oh, this is well turned out. It's handsome. Reminds me of something. Gorgeous, isn't it?
I love the magnolia tree, the cute sort of cabin-like extension to the side.
Personally, I love this style of building. It's so simple. Post-Victorian, they managed to strip back a lot of the ornament. Because it's elevated, It seems to sit really proudly in front of that dramatic backdrop of the quarry.
Mandy, do you want to take us over the threshold?
I will do. Ooh.
Oh, lovely.
It's not giving much away, is it? You know, I can see the picture rail and everything, but there's not much colour. And you know, I love colour.
I think that they've kept a lot of the original features here, which for me is always a big tick, tick, tick.
We're not seeing any kind of radical, bold design styles, but you know what? I think that's appropriate for this building.
I'm seeing a bit of colour in that room, so would you like to lead us on to the moody snug?
Thank you. Ooh, this is really nice.
Yeah.
Lovely space.
It's lovely, isn't it? The colour is very prominent in this room as well. They've gone for the colour drenching technique.
It's lovely, isn't it, when you can have a dark, snug, a room that you can come in and coach in the long winters we seem to have in Wales. And I like the way they've styled it, you know, interesting little trinkets here and there. Loving the lights and the ceiling rose, really sympathetic to the period of the property.
It feels quite decadent. First thing I noticed was the way that square bay window is beautifully sculpting the light and giving this soft wash over the green walls.
Yeah, OK, maybe some of the decor in here, you know, isn't 100% up my street, but this is a lovely cutchy room, and for that, I think we need to have a cutch, you two. And actually, through there, there's a room that's a bit less cutchy and more modern, though. Should we see what that is?
Oh, yes. Oh, what a nice space. I love the floor.
Lovely.
Oh, I'm loving everything about this. Oh, there's the heart. Get away, you two. It's mine. You can see exactly why it's here. Somebody's put a lot of care and attention into this fabulous space. And look at the aspect. I'm cooking away here. You'll just arrive in and I can chat to you. It's really well planned. And I love it when you have a bank of tall units on the back of the wall, which means the whole focus of the kitchen is there. I'm looking out to the garden. I'm looking over there into the dining room and that beautiful snug that way.
And of course, who can ignore those windows? Well, nobody. They're huge. They've got a gorgeous view out to what we believe to be maybe an old quarry or something, and the little rockery outside. Adorable.
And look at the floor. Isn't this beautiful? Who says concrete's cold? I love it. The colour of it is warm. And I love the fact that they haven't been too precious about the aggregate coming to the top. It gives it a really kind of nice texture and breaks it up.
From the outside, I didn't think the extension was going to be this big. And I quite like, you know, that this is really contemporary. And here, we've just got a nod to the traditional, how it would have been. Those fireplaces I absolutely adore. I've got one at home and I picked it up on an online auction for £50. You know, it's a nice traditional piece to have in a home.
Oh, OK. Didn't expect that. We've got a different feel in this room.
Yeah, we do, Glenn, you're right. There's a real contrast between the dark and the light in here, isn't there? But this furniture, OK, not to my taste, you two, but then behind that, big fan of this blue that we have on the walls.
Yes, I love the mid-toned blue on the walls, and it's lovely with the William Morris wallpaper. Yeah, it is quite dark, you know, I know we're getting a lot of light through that window, but we can see the period features.
This is a little bit more rustic, isn't it? With that kind of tall boy, the rugs and the headboard, slightly more traditional.
That's a lovely view, though, isn't it? And, you know, we're treated, because the magnolia is in bloom at the moment, just gently swaying outside of the window. Really pretty view.
Nice size for a bathroom.
It is. And we have this statement piece, this bath in the middle of the room. You know, I'm not a massive fan of these baths or the fact that it's kind of here.
The colour is lovely, the flooring I'm particularly enjoying. I agree with you, Owain. I'm not a bath in the middle of the room kind of girl. I prefer them by the window.
Well, actually, you two, I disagree. I am a fan of the bath in the middle of the room. I think if it was pushed over towards the window, you would end up with a big no man's land in the middle of what is a big room. But I really like the colour. It's a really kind of calm zen feeling in the bathroom. They've done a good job.
But what will the judges score, Shainu?
If somebody were to ask me, what would your dream home be? I would say it would be a Victorian or post-Victorian detached house, which is exactly what this home is. And stepping inside, it really has been sympathetically renovated throughout. The kitchen is just wow times 1,000. You know, it's so bright and light, and the kind of luminous energy that exists in that space is just wonderful to wrap yourself in. I am giving this home an 8.
It really pleases me when I see a homeowner has adopted a contemporary approach to developing a period home. Sat here in this extension, I think they've executed that perfectly. The honest use of materials, that wonderful warm concrete floor, the perfectly planned kitchen, absolutely astonishing. I'm giving this home a 9.
I love this kind of period property. They've always got really nice proportions, and the extension, not only does it look amazing from the outside, it really works well inside. Nice open plan space with those fabulous windows. I would have liked to have seen a bit more of a cohesive style throughout. Having said that, it's a wonderful space.
Now that the judges have seen all 3 homes, their final scores can be revealed. First, it was Paitindi House in Llanddew.
Oh gosh, it was huge. The 3 of us, I think, all said, wow, when we walked into it. A stunning home. I give this one an 8. Mandy, for you, it was 9. Glenn, what are your thoughts?
Such a grand home on an almost oversized scale. I fell in love with all of that glass and that dynamic double height space. That was incredible. I gave this home an 8.
It's an 8 from Glenn. So the total for Paitindi House is 25.
I loved that house. You know, it was so unique and so special.
Next up, Pendrec Cottage in Powys.
It was just adorable, wasn't it? And that garden was just picture perfect, wasn't it? Mandy, you gave this a 9. Glenn, you awarded it an 8. For me, there was something so homely about Pendrec Cottage. The decor inside really wasn't the sort of thing I would do. But that said, you could imagine yourself really enjoying time in that home. For me, Pendrec Cottage was a 9.
Ooh.
So the total is 26.
And finally, Chez Nous in Pontypool.
I really like the look of this home from the outside. Double bay fronted, post-Victorian era. It was up on that elevation, so you walk up to it, you're like, wow, this is an amazing house. Glenn, you gave this one a 9. For me, it was 8. Mandy, your thoughts?
Lovely period property, really handsome from the outside. And then that cute cabin-like extension worked really well as a space inside. Beautiful windows, nice feel and proportion, really nice. I gave it an 8.
It's an 8 from Mandy. So the total for Chez Nous in Pontypool is 25. 3 sensational homes, but of course, only one can go through to our final. So going through from mid in the valleys is Pendrec Cottage.
Pendrec Cottage wins in Mid Wales and the Valleys and is one step closer to being Wales Home of the Year.
What an incredible example of how to develop a small space.
Such a worthy winner, and I think that one is going to be a very popular choice.
Next time,
Oh my gosh, sing my angel of music.
the judges are in the northeast.
Absolutely fabulous.
I'm being slapped about the face with all this colour.
As the search continues for Wales Home of the Year.